All right, so today we're diving into a really special story. It's called 1942, A Love Story. And this isn't your typical war epic. This is a story about a love that doesn't shout, it endures. The whole thing kicks off with this quote: "The river flows not because it remembers, but because it must." It's this beautiful, kind of heavy thought about how life just keeps going, no matter what. And that idea? It's going to be a huge theme we'll see pop up again and again.
Okay, so where does it all start? We're in a place called Falkenheim. Picture the small, quiet village, a place that feels like it's a world away from everything, but it's actually right on the edge of a massive, life-altering change.
You know, Falkenheim is one of those places that's just idyllic. It's nestled between forests and farms, and you get the sense the people there are just trying so hard to hold on to their simple way of life. But the scary thing is, war doesn't show up with a big bang. Nah, it creeps in. It's in the whispers, the way people start talking in hushed tones, just this quiet sense of dread that starts to hang over everything.
And right at the heart of this world, we meet our two main characters. First, there's Johann Adler. He's a farmer's son, a man whose whole life is tied to the land, quiet, steady, patient. And then we have Liesl Bauer. She's a seamstress's daughter, and her world is all about mending things that are torn. What's so great about them is that they're both these really grounded, quiet people. Their strength isn't loud, it's in their resilience. There's this one line from Liesl that just hits you. She says, "I always thought that war would sound louder when it came." And that right there, that's the whole conflict in a nutshell. It's this chilling idea that the biggest, most terrible things can just sneak up on you. For them, the war isn't some distant explosion. It's this slow, creeping shadow that's falling over their perfectly normal lives.
So with this shadow just hanging over them, the quiet affection they have for each other suddenly has to speed up. It's like they're on a clock they can't see, and they start making these promises to each other, knowing full well the future is a complete and terrifying blank. And how do they make that promise real? With something so simple but so powerful. A red thread. They tie it around each other's wrists. And it's not some good luck charm, right? It's not meant to magically protect him. Liesl says it's for remembrance. It's just a constant physical reminder that they're connected, no matter what.
And this red thread is just the beginning. The story is full of these powerful symbolic objects. You've got the letters, which become their actual lifelines. The church bells, they used to just mark the time of day, but now they start to toll for loss, for fate. And all the while, you have the river just constantly flowing, reminding you that life keeps moving, no matter how much war tries to stop it. These all add this whole other layer to everything.
What I love about their relationship is that it's not about these big, dramatic declarations of love. No, it's built in the quiet moments. It's in the spaces between words, in this comfortable silence they share. And think about it. In a world that's getting louder and more violent by the day, their silence is actually a form of rebellion. It's this little pocket of peace that's just for them.
So with only days before he has to leave, they make this huge decision. They're going to get married. And when they talk to the pastor, Liesl says something amazing. She says they're not doing it for protection from what's coming, they're doing it for truth. It's like they're saying, this is real, we are real. It's their way of claiming their love before the world has a chance to rip it away from them.
And then the day arrives. And it all comes down to a single sound, a train whistle. That sound just slices through the morning quiet, and in an instant, their world is split right in two.
The whole departure scene is it's heart-wrenching. That first whistle shatters the peace. You can just imagine the chaos on the train platform, families clinging to each other for one last second. But in the middle of all that, Liesl gives Johann something to hold on to. A vow. A reminder that he is loved, that he belongs to something more than just orders and borders. And then, a final whistle blows. The train lurches forward. And just like that, he's gone.
And their last words to each other? Wow. It's not some grand, sweeping promise. It's something so much more real. She just whispers, "Come back." It's everything she wants. And his reply? He doesn't say, "I will." He says, "I will try." It's so honest, and it just perfectly captures the brutal, awful uncertainty of their situation.
So from that moment on,
Johann and Liesl are living in two completely different worlds. It's like they're in these parallel universes, and the only thing connecting them anymore is memory and this tiny thread of hope that they'll see each other again.
And a contrast between their new lives it's so stark. Johann gets thrown into this military machine that's designed to strip away who he is. The #1 command is literally forget who you were. But back home, Liesl's world is all about his absence, the empty chair, the quiet house. And her vow is the complete opposite of his orders. She is going to refuse to let him forget.
For Johann, this new life is just brutal. It's completely dehumanizing. He's not Johann Adler the farmer anymore. He's a number. The whole point of the training is to break you down, to erase your personality and replace it with blind obedience. So you realize his fight isn't just going to be against the enemy on the battlefield. It's a fight to hold on to himself.
And Liesl's battle? It's different, but it's no less difficult. Her entire world is haunted by him, you know? Every little thing reminds her he's gone. And for her, waiting isn't this passive thing you do. It's an active struggle. It's a heavy, daily act of courage just to keep going, to fight off despair.
So with this huge silent gap between them, there's only one thing that can possibly build a bridge across it.
And that's the letters. The letters become absolutely everything. There's so much more than just news updates. They're proof. Proof that the other person is still out there, still alive. Proof that the life they had together was real. In this world that's all about silence and distance, these little scraps of paper, they're the only foundation they have left to build their hope on.
You see it so clearly in one of Johann's letters. He writes, "If you ever doubt, remember this. I walk forward because you are behind me." It shows you he's not just fighting for some abstract cause. He is surviving. He is pushing forward because of her. The memory of Liesl is literally what's keeping him going.
And her letters do the same for him. They're his anchor. When she writes, "The river is steady, the fields wait, the house remembers you," she's doing something incredible. She's rebuilding his home for him right there in his mind. She's reminding him that he's still Johann Adler, a man from Falkenheim, a man who belongs somewhere.
But what's maybe most fascinating is what they can't say in those letters, right? They can't write about the true horror, the fear. So he writes about discipline and routine. She writes about the weather and the river. It seems so mundane, but if you read between the lines, that's where they're really talking. That's where they speak about love, and that's where they whisper about fear.
And all of this really boils down to the story's big central question. When everything else is stripped away, your home, your name, your safety, can a love that was built in silence survive the deafening noise of war? It's a question that really sticks with you long after you finish the last page.